Today I'm going to tell you how to live without fear. You know, what a claim to make, but for the most part, it can be true if you follow along with this. Now, FDR said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Sadly, he was not quite semantically correct. The only thing we have to worry about is worry itself. So when it comes to fear, fear is what we need in order to handle an absolute present danger to our physical well-being. That is the use of fear. And pretty much everything else is going to be worry. But I'll explain that. And again, stick around to the end because that's where I'll show you how you can live without fear. Now, fear is important in those times, like a tiger might be charging at me, or someone is coming at me with a knife, or my car is out of control and I'm about to slam into something. Those are times of fear. Those are times when I need that boost of adrenaline, cortisol, whatever other fun chemical mixture goes into all of that stuff. So I need all of that to react right now, to prevent a threat to my physical well-being. And there is, of course, a place where these blend together, this fear and this worry, but I'll get to that. That's something to save for the end, because kind of, at what point does it change from worry to fear? So if I see a guy walking down the street with a knife, am I afraid? Or am I potentially worried? Or at what point does it go from I'm worried about this person attacking me to, or should I say I'm worried about this person hurting me, to now I'm afraid this person is going to hurt me? But again, we'll get back to that because it'll make more sense at the end of the video. So I think my favorite way to describe the difference between worry and fear is to describe fear first. And the way I like to do that is go, and right in their face. Say, that is fear. So that feeling that you just had, that's fear. You were worried, or you were concerned about your safety, I should say. So then the way I go on to describe worry is I pause and I say that feeling that you have right there, that wondering, that concern that you have as to what I'm going to do, what crazy jarring thing am I going to do to demonstrate worry to you? That feeling is worry. And as you can see in this case, nothing of the sort happened. It didn't come to pass. So worry and fear feel the same to the body and both produce health issues over time. So when they're overused, so to speak, they produce mental issues, they produce physical issues. It could be in the form of increased weight, problems with the heart, problems with digestion, just all kinds of stuff, even up into the mind and having to do with the psyche. So, living in this state of fear puts you into a more prey mode and all this kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of negative effects of fear and worry. So that's why we want to do our best to live without fear and live without worry as much as possible. And the reason that the difference matters is because fear says, I have to take action right now. I have to do something to get out of the path of that lion that's charging me, or do something to defend myself from this person who's now presently lunging at me with a knife. I have to take that action right now. And that's very useful if your intent is to live longer, reproduce, do all that kind of fun stuff. And worry is just trying to predict the future. You're trying to say, well, if this happens, then I'm going to do this. But that worry is not an action. Worry is just simply a prediction. It's imagination. It's not something that you can act upon, but at the same time, your body doesn't know the difference. Your body reacts to what is happening in the mind. So in the mind, you can be reacting to something that is actually honestly happening right now at the moment, or you can be reacting to something that you think might happen, that is a potential. But your body doesn't know the difference. To your body, that thing is actually happening because the brain says this is going on. The body says, okay, I better do something about that. And so you're trying to react to something that does not exist. And for worry, I like to refer to what I call the worry matrix. And it goes a bit like this. I live in an area where tornadoes and hurricanes are a potential danger. So worry is its own problem. If I hear that a hurricane is approaching my area, I can worry about that, and then one of two things will happen. The hurricane will either hit my house or it won't. So if I worry about it and the hurricane doesn't hit my house, I still have one problem, and that is that I worried about it. I caused myself all that stress. If I worry and the hurricane hits my house, then I have two problems. So then we get to, well, what happens if I don't worry? So if I don't worry and the hurricane hits my house, I have one problem. Hurricane hit my house, but I didn't cause myself the stress of all of that worry. So I eliminated one entire problem from the potential list of problems. Now it could come to the hurricane does not hit my house and I didn't worry. Well, now I have zero problems. I didn't cause myself stress and there's no damage to my house. So fantastic. And my camera is about to shake because my cat just loves playing with it. He wants to know what I'm doing or who I'm talking to here. So you can wave at him if you like. So that's the worry matrix. The simple idea is you can have one less problem by not putting worry into the mix. And here's where we get to the living without fear and how you can adjust, shall we say, well, let's rephrase that into how you can push the line dividing fear and worry that we talked about at the beginning so that the section for fear becomes much smaller. So we remove that line. Here's the stuff that you could worry about and here's the stuff that you could fear. The more you move that line, the less you have to be afraid of. So if we go back to the example I was giving about the person walking down the street with a knife. As soon as I see somebody walking down the street with a knife, I can choose to be afraid, or I can choose to put it on this side of the line where it's in the worry side. Now the worry side is much easier to deal with than the fear side because I can get rid of the worry side. I can say, oh, right, worry is trying to predict the future. I can't predict the future, so the best I can do is just be alert and prepared. Not worried, not afraid, just observing the situation. And the more things I can do that with, the more events, the more extreme the thing is that I can move to the side of worry, the more I'm able to dissipate it and get rid of it as something that is just a potential, but not something that I can take action on. So the person walking down the street with a knife, I can't really take action on that unless I just want to run up and punch the guy, which doesn't make any sense. Maybe he has a reason why he's carrying a knife there that has nothing to do with me or any danger whatsoever. But when it comes to where do I draw that line? Well, that's up to you to decide. So if you watch action movies, you see the hero a lot of times who's just super calm in any situation, in the middle of a gunfight, and they are super calm. They could be hit with a bullet at any moment, but they have moved that line so far over that they are no longer in that situation afraid of being hit by a bullet. they've moved that over into the side of worry and then realized that it is just a potential scenario and not necessarily the one that's going to happen, and therefore have dissipated it. So everything you can move over that line is something that you can dissipate and get rid of. And so in the middle of that gunfight, the hero is just sitting there calmly, waiting for his opportunity to shoot or get away or whatever it might be. And the more and more situations you can do that with, the more and more you live without fear. And this could be anything. This could be losing a job, losing your house, something happening to a family member, something happening to your health, anything. So we try to move all of that so that we are no longer in a fear state. So that now we're moved over to worry, and worry gets automatically dissipated because of our inability to accurately tell the future. So that is how I live mostly without fear. And we'll go back to correcting FDR to end this video. The only thing you have to worry about is worry itself. So go ahead and live without fear as much as you possibly can. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't be afraid to hit that like button or to share. Have a great day.